Hi, I'm Wildana. Welcome to Will's Crafts. You know, it's almost spring outside. Well, in California. So today I'm going to show you how to make a spring topiary for your home or office. Let's get started. To do this craft, you will need 12-inch dowel sticks, 2 styrofoam balls, 1 of the appropriate size to fit the container you will use for a base, and the other for your flower head. You'll need some artificial flowers and leaves, some marbles or stones, some ribbon, and some acrylic paint to paint the dowel. The tools you'll need for this craft are wire cutters, scissors, paintbrush, your glue gun, and some glue. The first step in making this craft is to paint your dowel stick and cut it to the length that you want. Today I'm using a 12-inch dowel and it's going to be perfect. I don't have to cut it. The next step is to take a styrofoam ball that's just the right size for the bottom of your container. You can use any container you want. I bought this at the craft store. $2.49. You may have a container at home that you want to use, but just measure a ball that will fit in the bottom. I happen to have some old beat up ones in the drawer, and that's what I use these for, is just to use them where they're not seen. Just put enough hot glue in the bottom of your pot, which I can't see. And hold it down for a second or two. And you're ready to start your craft. Once your styrofoam ball is stuck to the bottom of your container, you'll take your dowel stick, put it in the middle of the ball, and push it all the way in. The next step is to prepare your flowers. These flowers you can find in the wedding department. They're made out of paper. And the good thing about them is that if you cut them off the wire, they don't fall apart. See? If you cut these off, if you cut this part of this silk flower stem off, this flower will fall in pieces. If you leave this part, you can just stick them into the ball and they'll stay. Sometimes you have to put a little glue, but usually not. So today we're going to use a mixture of paper and silk flowers on our topiary. Just as easy as that, and be sure and fold these away so that they don't stick you when you go to throw the trash bag away. Make a little knot out of them so they're not sharp. I cut these off of the silk flowers stems, which I don't have with me today. I just brought the leaves. Out of one stem of silk flowers, you'll have many, many leaves. Sometimes I save them depending on if I'm going to be doing other crafts soon or not. Again, when you cut them off, fold those ends of those wires over so that you don't get stuck. All right, now we're going to begin making our craft, our topiary. And the first thing you want to do is put a hole in what's going to be the bottom of your top. At least you have a hole there. So that gives you a marker as to where the bottom of your topiary ball is. So you can start putting flowers on. Now, let's see. Let's get, Now, to put the flowers on your topiary, you can do it in a couple of ways. With the silk flowers that have a part of the stem, where's my bottom? There's my bottom. I try to keep my thumb on the bottom so that I know where it is all the time. Those you can just stick in. These paper ones don't have a stem on them, so you have to glue them on. Or I do know that some people use straight pins and straight pin their flowers on. And the idea here is that you put enough flowers to cover the entire ball as much as you can. You want the flowers to be up close to each other. And I'm using some silk, some paper, just because that's what I have. And I'm going to continue covering this ball all the way around with flowers. As you're filling in your flower, you'll want to add in some color, and that's why we use the leaves. So I just like to fold them in half, put a little glue on the end of it, just on the tip, and stick it down in between the leaves. Just like that. And you do that over several places on your ball so that there's greenery in with your flowers. Now that you've got the flowers all over the head of your topiary, we're going to fill the little pot the rest of the way with some marbles or stones, rocks, sea glass. Some of you I know paint stones, paint rocks. You might paint a few rocks and put them in with it, depending on how big your rocks and how big your pot are. But you need these in there to stabilize the whole thing. You don't want to fill them too full and have them falling over, but just enough so it stabilizes it and doesn't tip over on your desk and you lose it. Then the next step is to find your hole that we made prior to putting the flowers on and put it on the stick and then push it down as far as it will go. And that's your topiary, except you do need a little bit of decoration. So I'm going to put a ribbon, tie a bow on just right under the flowers. When I get it tied, I'll push it up where it belongs. It's spinning on us. And straighten out your bow as much as you can. Make it as wide. You probably don't want the bow to stick out any very much wider than the stem. I mean, the head. And there you go. You have a lovely topiary for your desk or for your wedding. I hope you enjoyed making this spring topiary with me today. Now that you know how to make these, you could decorate for your wedding and save a lot of money on flowers. And if you want to, you could make them gigantic and put them outside your door. Just use bigger rocks so the squirrels don't knock them over. Thank you for joining us today. Come back next time when I'm going to show you the secrets of my special box of samples. If you're a person who does a lot of program, parties, needs a name tag idea, Oh, there are all kinds of treasures inside this box. And I'm going to be showing all of them to you next time here on Will's Crafts.